Hi everyone. Today is kind of a sad day. I'm at Resurrection Cemetery, and I thought this was interesting. It was the first statue I came across as I entered the cemetery on the north side, I think. And I just think it's really cool. Let me get a closer look. But this is not the reason I'm here today. But I wanted to take a closer look anyway. I mean, isn't that beautiful? It's just amazing. I mean, I can't get this through. I can't do this justice on video. His eyes, they really speak out to you. I mean, they're blue. They're like marbles. They look like real eyes. It's just amazing. And look, you've got the hand with the, where he was. And then, he's hollow. He's hollow. This says something, Cuvio Vadis. That's something in Latin. If you know what it means, let me know. But I just am amazed by the, there's even teeth. There's everything. It's absolutely stunning. And this is for the Costello family. Karen Louise, October 10th, 1967. Carla Marie, June 1, 1972. Now, I'm guessing they're both still alive. And that these are future, because it doesn't. No, maybe that's the day that they passed away. I don't know. Let me know what you think. But this is just extraordinary. I mean, look at that. It's just amazing. Now I'm going to get back in my car and go to the real reason that we're here today. I was supposed to be here a few days ago. I'm a few days late. But this is Resurrection Cemetery, St. Louis, Missouri. It's a nice little cemetery. Actually, I shouldn't say little, it's rather big. I'm still amazed by that statue. It was just absolutely lifelike. It actually kind of looked like the guy in the movie, that Jim Caviezel, who played him, who played Jesus. It looked that lifelike, It was almost a little scary, but, beautiful at the same time. So, we'll make our way around here. We usually come in the other side. So, I'm just having a day, having a day, having a week, having a month, having a year, having a life. Things are not going great for me right now. I was supposed to take that left back there. I missed it. So I'm just going to talk for a little bit while I'm getting lost. I'm going to turn myself around. And let you all look at the beautiful. There's really not much over here. There's a couple little ones, a couple little statues. But the one I'm looking for is, like I said, I was supposed to take a left back there. But anyway, as you all know, or probably know, my dad passed away in 2020 of pancreatic cancer. And it's been really tough, to say the least. And then recently, my uncle passed away. My dad's brother. He passed away. And they said one of the last things that he said before he passed away was he was talking to Fred, talking to my dad, his brother, And so there's one of two things you could take from that. Either he was delusional in that moment because of the pain meds, or, he had suffered a couple of strokes and he was on his way out. Or, you could say that he really was seeing my dad in that moment. And my dad was saying, it's okay, come with me. That was in 2021. Then, my Uncle Frank, who I was just speaking about, my dad's brother, was married to my Aunt Darlene, and she was just the sweetest woman ever, And she had been struggling before my Uncle Frank got sick. It was like my dad died, and my Uncle Frank was fine. And then he went downhill fast, started to have strokes, started to have he just couldn't cope. And a lot of that, my aunt said, was because of losing my father. It really, my dad meant a lot to a lot of people, and so it was hard to lose him for not just, me and my brother, but anyway, and my mom, of course, but anyway, my Aunt Darlene, my uncle's wife, had not been doing well herself, and this was before my dad even got sick. She had strokes. I think we're in the right place now. In fact, I'm sure of it. But anyway, she had been having little strokes. There was something going on. Something wasn't right. And they kept, misdiagnosing her. They were not diagnosing her correctly. And finally, they diagnosed her after my uncle passed away. They diagnosed her as having ALS. Anyway, long story, even longer, she passed away just last week, or it was about 2 weeks ago. I found out about it a few days ago. But, to have that many people die in such a short time, and what my mom said was, I'm the last one of the four of us, and that's true. And, my mom isn't doing so well right now. I'm not doing so well right now. I don't know, it's been a depressing time for a while, and, I suffer from depression, and I try so hard to pull myself out of it, but sometimes, it's just, and anyone that has depression knows how hard it is, and I don't have bipolar, and I don't have, schizophrenia, and I don't have, I just have garden variety, depression, situational depression, would be a good way to put it. So anyway, we're here where I'm supposed to be. And but yeah, my depression, ever since my dad died, it kind of just, I was going to say it comes and goes, but it's really more that it just kind of stays, and then it'll get better. The depression will lessen, and then the depression, it's a really windy day right now. Really windy. But, some things have been happening lately that, for a little while things were looking up in my personal life. And then, they started kind of looking down again. So I always have trouble. See, you have these really big ones, and then you have the little ones. And they said that they don't do the standing up ones anymore. They only do the ones that are flat to the ground. But obviously the ones that are flat to the ground are harder to find. And that makes it hard for me. I always try to, whatever cemetery I go to, always try to clear it. And I will not be staying long because I didn't realize how cold it was. And I hate cold. And I should have come up here the other day. It was a nice day the other day. I should have come up here. But it was one of those days where it was my dad's birthday. And that's why I was going to come up here that day. And I bought him this balloon and the flower. And I haven't been up here for a while. When he first passed away, I came up a lot. Surprisingly, it was kind of peaceful for me to come up here at that time. I think because it didn't kick in yet. You know what I mean? It didn't kick in. But then when it did kick in, the thought of coming up here started to be sadder and sadder. And I hope I find this soon. This is taking a while to find. It usually doesn't take me this long. I think I might be in the wrong... Nope, here we are. I found it. This isn't it. Like I said, I like to take the leaves off. Here we are. There's my dad. Phil Spector. I just watched a documentary about Phil Spector. And they said that his dad passed away, actually committed suicide, when he was, in his early 40s or something like that, or maybe even younger. And Phil was only like 8 or 9 at the time. So, he didn't get he didn't bear the full weight of what that meant, of how that was going to change his life, his dad dying. But it was interesting. He was such, I know everything that happened with the murder and everything, but I don't want to talk about that now. But it's a great documentary. It's just called Spectre, if you want to watch it. But I thought it was interesting. On his dad's epitaph, it says, "To know him was to love him." And of course, one of Phil Spector's first songs was to know him is to love him. They changed the words a little, is from was to is. So they turned it into like a pop, you know, a romantic, like, you know, kind of breakup song or whatever. But I just found that interesting, you know, and my dad is the same way. To know him was to love him. I don't know any person that ever said anything bad about my father. You know, everyone just universally said he was a great guy. He always went out of his way to help people. He went out of his way to help the veterans, you know, and he really cared, you know. He put all of himself into everything he did, you know. He really cared, and as you can see, he would have been 80. And I miss you, Dad. I miss you every day. 80 years old would have been a milestone. And he had a lot of living left to do, you know. It's like you meet some young people that don't, like this young person right here that's filming this. I mean, I don't know how young I am, but, you know, sometimes, I'll be honest with you, I don't have a passion for life, and I don't have a lot going on, and things didn't turn out the way that I wanted to, and I'm not trying to. My point is that I didn't have the zest for life that my dad did, and he still had a lot to do in this life. And if I could have given some of my years to him, I would have in a heartbeat, you know. Because he was just such a good person, you know. And he really wanted to live, and that's what made it so hard, you know. But now he's up in heaven. And I hope I see him again someday. And it's weird. And yes, this spot right here is for me. It's kind of weird to see your own. You know, my name is Carrie, actually. Now everybody knows my name. They can look me up. That's great. But it is what it is. It's YouTube, you know. But yeah, so that's where my mom in the middle, me on the right, and my dad, of course, is right here on the left. They originally were going to put my dad in the middle, and that's kind of what I wanted. Or me in the middle, you know. But they always said that the wife goes in the middle, whatever that means. So I kind of wanted, nothing against my mom, I kind of wanted to be next to my dad. And my mom and I joke about how we should have put Dad in the middle so he could keep us, you know, from squabbling, from fighting, because that's kind of what he did in real life. Like, he was kind of the referee when we would, you know, because mothers and daughters, you know, we fight. It happens, you know. But he was always the glue that held our family together, and to know him was to love him. And I still love him, and I will always love him. I love you, Dad. Everyone take care. Have a good weekend.